Hi. I am Marlene Motivates, and I am your life coach, motivational speaker, encourager, mindset shifter, all of those things. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy new month. I really appreciate everybody for being here. Thank you so much for your support. Today we're going to talk about the subject of weight loss, and I know that this can be a very tricky, very tricky, right? It can be very tricky to talk about this because I know that many are very sensitive, and this is a topic of motivation to encourage you guys, because when I talk about these things like weight loss and things, I am also on a weight loss journey. For those who haven't seen my community tab, I recently have lost 20 pounds. I'm really proud of myself. And with this newfound weight loss, I also feel like it's important to share some information about what I did. What were some of the tips and tricks and tools that I used to help me to get to that weight loss? First, I want to say to everybody is that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do weight loss like other people. You got to know what works for you and then stick to it. That's the motivation and the encouragement. Don't listen to other people, and don't follow any of these fad diets that tell you that you can lose weight quick, because I followed those trends before myself, because you just want to lose weight so badly. But at the same time, you got to think about what is sustainable. Those are the things that I want to talk about today. I want to share 5 tips that is sustainable. And that means that you can continue this forever. And that's very important, because if you just follow a trend, you follow something and remove everything, then that can't be sustained. One of those things are, people like to remove all carbohydrates. They like to remove all of starches, all of this. I am of the opinion that I think that it's about moderation. I think moderation is important. Just a little bit of everything that will keep you going. You can't deny yourself of everything, because you'll get really frustrated. And what are you going to do? You're going to either overeat or overindulge. And that's not what we want to do, motivators family. Okay, so today we're going to talk about 5 tips for weight loss that I feel like will be very encouraging to all of my motivators family, because I want you to have a healthy weight and to feel your best. And I can't tell you guys enough, since I have lost over 20 pounds, I feel renewed. I don't feel as sluggish. I have more energy. Yeah. And a bonus is that you start looking better. And I'll tell you guys that when you start looking better and getting a slimmer waist, you feel better. You feel good when you do good things for yourself. So I wanted first off by saying that. And also, congratulations to everybody. Anybody who is starting to make changes in your life with trying to get to a weight loss, you got to know what you want to do. Don't let anybody tell you what you should do. You got to know what you want to do for yourself. And don't listen to anybody else. Don't listen to relatives. Don't listen to friends. Don't listen to this person or that person. What other people are saying on social media, that if you do this, this is going to guarantee results. I'll tell you guys that all those people who say guaranteed results, it's usually a gimmick. Nothing works like hard work and a focused, healthy lifestyle. And notice that I'm going to tell you guys that this, about your whole life, shifting your life and living a healthy lifestyle, and not getting into the diets, because that can really get people down a rabbit hole sometimes. Like, I followed this diet and I followed that diet, but really, is it sustainable? Hey, Trish, how are you doing? It's so good to see you. Happy Sunday. But is it really sustainable? That was one of the things that I had to honestly work on, making sure I do things that I can keep up, because just how you can take off weight, you also can gain it plus some. And that is what was happening to me. I would lose 2 or 3 pounds, and then I would gain 5, because I was not doing something that was sustainable. And that is one of the motivations that I want to give to all of my motivators family, and tell you, make sure whatever you do, it's something that you can continue. When I talk about motivation all the time, I share that whatever you do should be sustainable. Sustainable, sustainable. It has to be something that you can maintain. If you do not maintain it, you're delaying the inevitable. You're going to gain plus some. And that's not what I want for you. And that's not what I want for myself, too. Trish says, Marlene Motivates, I am restarting my healthy lifestyle tomorrow. I must make an improvement. I don't want to wait until I get sick or something. Yes, and that's very good, Trish. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations on the beginning of your new lifestyle. That is what I did. I would say it's been about 2 to 3 months now that I have put this into that. I'm not doing a diet. I'm not following any fad, any trends. I'm going the old-fashioned way of, exercise and some other things that we're going to talk about, because nothing beats the old-fashioned going for it and putting in the action. So I know that it's work, but it's worth it. I can tell you guys, since I have lost 20 pounds, I can't tell you how different I feel in so many different ways. Since I have lost 20 pounds, it has helped my mental health, because I'm not just sitting around binge eating. Hi, Natalie. How are you doing? Good evening to you. Hi, Matthew. Welcome. Yeah, so let me share some of these 5 tips that will be sustainable, okay? So the first tip for weight loss is making sure that you keep a regular schedule of exercise. It's number one, a regular schedule of exercise. Now, I'm not going to tell you that you have to be going to the gym, and spending hours at a time. When I first started off with my journey, and I said something that is reasonable and attainable, something that you can sustain. I first started off just doing 10 minutes. That's it. A 10-minute walk. And then as the weeks go on, I increased it by a minute. And then the next week I did 11 minutes. Then I did 12 minutes, 13, 14, 15. And now I'm up to a 20-minute walk. That is something that I know that I can sustain. I can't speak for everybody, but I know for myself that if I tell myself I have to exercise for an hour, I would never maintain that, because I'm just not that person who likes to do exercise for an hour. Now, to those who love to exercise for an hour, go for it. It's there for you. But I just wanted to encourage anybody, it's not about how long that you exercise. It's just about that you go for it and you do it. Hey, Sirius, how are you doing? Welcome. Happy Sunday. That is one of the things that I have to say for the first tip, is that you make sure that you keep a regular schedule of exercise. And for me, I started with 10 minutes and I increased it. Now I'm up to 20. But before I say all of this, this is not medical advice. I'm always going to advise you to seek the advice of your physician before you begin any exercise, diet change, anything. Always follow what your doctor or physician recommends. And with that being said, even if you can't be a person that you can go for a walk for 15 minutes, because of the field that I work in, I see many different things. And you can start with just the chair exercises. Even a person who is paralyzed, have some sort of disability, you start where you are. You don't make the excuses. And that has been very helpful for me, to not make the excuse and say, oh, I can't do it. And first, before you do anything, you do have to work on your mind. You have to convince yourself that you can do it. You can have better habits. You can improve your life. And that's where it starts. Sirius says, how are you doing? I'm amazing. Yes, I'm doing great, Sirius. Thanks so much for asking. I'm glad you are too. And thank you so much for dropping the member only um, avatars. Yes. Thank you so much for your membership as always. So that was something that I know for sure helped me when I started to get into a regular routine. And you got to select those times. Hey, Realist, how are you doing? Welcome. You have to select the times that you are available to do it. I'm definitely a morning person or a late night person when it comes to exercise. And like I said, I'm not exercising for 30 minutes, an hour, or whatever. I'm the type of person that I exercise every other day. I do not exercise every day. For me, I exercised today, so I went for that 20-minute walk, and then I have the next day I just do some on my TV. I follow a certain workout routine, 15 minutes. Then I have another day that I do my deep breathing, 15 minutes. So you see how it's something that's reasonable for me, and that is something that I know I can maintain. If you are trying to, you're a person that you already have a very busy schedule, or maybe you're not very excited about exercise, you got to start where you are. All it matters is that you start. So if all you can do is 5 minutes, then do 5 minutes and keep 5 minutes regularly doing an exercise routine until you can increase it. Then you just go to 6 minutes, 7, and so on and so forth. Yes. Sirius says you have to set realistic goals and have a daily regimen. Yes, that is very key, Sirius. Very key. It's very important for us to have realistic. I always say that over here, and it applies to everything in our lives. It has to be realistic and attainable for you. What maybe your siblings or somebody on social media or whatever can do, it may not be applicable to you. It may not be something that you're capable of, because everybody has different are at different ages, have different health problems, financial situations. You got to know what works for you, and then you make it happen. So it doesn't mean that you got to have a lot of money, because that's something that somebody has said to me before in coaching. Well, I want to lose weight, but I don't have money to get a dietitian and to get a personal trainer, and I don't have money to join a gym membership. You can start for free. Costs you zero money. You just got to start with a plan. And the first thing that I did was that I convinced myself that we're going to get started. And really, it's about convincing your mind that I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to take care of me because I love myself and I'm important. So that's the encouragement that I say to all of you, whether you have health problems or you don't have health problems. We all could improve by a slimmer waist, and it's even more than that. It's not just about weight loss. I found that since I have lost 20 pounds, it has improved my mental health too. I have a higher self-esteem. I feel more confident. I feel more peace. It's a lot involved. It's not just about our physical body. It also affects our mental health, and it affects how we show up, how we deal with other people. Because I used to be that person just coming in from work, and then you're so exhausted from your day of work that you just flop on the chair, the couch, and then you just go grab something in the fridge that is very unhealthy. Mine of choice was ice cream, or I would grab some chips instead of going and getting a meal. So it one of those things that I have developed with maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Don't have things in your house that you know is not good for you. And that is something that you got to maintain that. And it means that you got to have discipline. And that is something that it comes with time. It's something that we all have to learn how to have discipline. And it's nothing wrong with having, if you want ice cream or cookies or whatever you want, but everything is about balance. You see how balance is the focus of today's discussion. You got to have balance, but at the same time, it's not making excuses, because anything that you really want to do, you're going to do it, you know? And that is where I had to be in my life. I had to start making a decision to choose me instead of putting things in front of what is really and truly important. And what is more important than us being healthy? Us feeling good in our own skin, having not, for me, my thing was I was not terribly overweight, but at the same time, I knew that I was out of shape because I couldn't walk too far without getting winded. I'd be like, I'd be huffing and puffing. Or if I had to go up the stairs, I had to keep taking breaks. And I was like, no, we're going to have to do something different. Yeah, so, just like I give motivation and encouragement, I also apply it to myself. I never talk about anything over here that I'm not applying in my own life. Siri says, my schedule is busy. I hit the gym at least 4 times a week, and the walking trail normally once or twice a week. I don't spend um, exorbitant amounts of time at the gym, about 30 minutes. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Sirius. So you found your balance, what is sustainable for you. And that is what I'm talking about. And that's something that I had to learn myself, to have balance in my whole lifestyle, because that's what it is when we talk about our health. And really, your health is your wealth. So if you really aren't taking care of yourself, how are you going to sustain, being able to work and taking care of your family? A lot of times we are under so much pressure to do things, like you got a heavy responsibility at work, maybe you have responsibilities at home if you have children, or you take care of somebody. That means that you got to take care of yourself so you can maintain that life. That's how I had to start looking at it. Yes, I have responsibilities, but I got to take care of myself so that I can take care of them. And that has really helped me to not just think about, oh, I'm tired, and not focus on the excuses, and not focus on, I don't have enough time, or I'm tired. Well, guess what? We're always going to be tired, and we're never going to have enough time. You make time for the things that are important to you. And when you feel that you're important and you love yourself, you're going to find ways to take care of yourself. So that is one of the things that I had to do. Trish says, I am determined to stay on track. I love my family, but I have to put myself first for my health. Yes, that's so true, Trish. And I don't know your situation. I'm just speaking on mine, but I have a lot of responsibilities in taking care of a few people. And I forget sometimes to do those things, like making sure I'm getting exercise and taking breaks from your responsibilities and making sure you're taking time for you. That's something that you have to maintain. You got to maintain caring for yourself, because if you're not okay, how can you be there for them? I get an adrenaline rush when I'm at the gym. I don't overdo it. Yeah. That's the thing. Serious, not overdoing it. And when I first started, I had to honestly tell myself, you don't got to be perfect. Because I think anybody, when you get out of shape, like I had like this complex. I didn't want to go to the gym because I didn't want people to see me, and I thought everybody was looking at me, and nobody's looking at you. Nobody could care less. Everybody's in their own zone, but that was my own complex in my mind. That was my complex. And I think everybody, that we judge ourselves and we think other people are thinking this and that about us. Maybe they are, but you got to get over those things and really start thinking of yourself. Trish says, oh, here we go. Realist says, what I learned is just because someone isn't overweight doesn't mean they don't need to work on their health. Yes. And that was the thing for me, Realist, because I've never been a bigger person. You know, people in my family were usually pretty slim, or, you know, we get the word people call them thick, but we don't really have overweight people in our family, and I do have some people in my family that are pretty slender, but they're not in good shape. A person could look good on the outside, like, oh yeah, they're slim, and you think that they're very healthy. It's really about the habits you have, your behaviors, how you handle stress, what are you doing to take care of yourself, are you getting sleep, and some other things that we're going to be talking about. We all need to have a focus on not what other people are doing, but we got to think about ourselves and what we need to be doing to take care of ourselves. And that is something that I had to really learn. I had to learn to prioritize me before everybody else. Even if it means I had to wake up like 45 minutes earlier, and before everybody woke up, I get up, I go for my walk, and I get to take care of myself. And that's my time to think and to meditate and pray and do all the things that I need to do before I let other people pull and take from my cup. Okay? Trish says, I have similar responsibilities, Marlene. My mom is in her 80s. So I can't say I know what you're going through, but I can understand what that's like, Trish. I really can. And so that means that you got to take care of yourself so you can be there for your mom. Realist says, because some actually make fun of others' weight and circumstances. Yes. Oh, we hear that all the time. People clown people and they say they're fat and stuff. You know, at the same time, a person can be what I like to call pleasantly plump, and at the same time, they can be in better shape than a person that can be very slender. It's not about the weight. It's about how do you take care of yourself. So that person that you may be laughing and clowning at, you could see them walking every day. They're drinking their water, they're minding their business, they're finding ways to lower their stress, they're taking care of themselves. And a person could be much slimmer, and they're drinking, smoking, really stressed out, not taking care of themselves, eating a lot of junk food, over processed food. So it really is about each individual. When we each have to weigh our own circumstances. Some people don't want to make changes. They don't want to improve their life. Some people are happy with the way that they are because they don't want to do anything to change their life, right? But we know different motivators. Thank you so much, Miss Nexie. Hi, Miss Nexie. How are you doing? Thank you so much for the super sticker. Trish says, that is so true, Marlene Motivates. I know a couple of slimmer people that have some serious health conditions. Yeah. So that's what I was trying to refer to you guys about, that while I have always been a pretty, I guess you could say, slim person, but my health wasn't in the best space because, yeah, I was slimmer, but I would be walk a little distance and I'd be huffing and puffing, and somebody who was a more curvaceous person would just pass me. So people judge people very easily and think, oh, because a person is slimmer, they must be healthy. That's not always true. So we have to weigh our own individual situation and just mind our own business. You know, not talking about, looking at other people. And I think that people worry too much about other people and they need to be focused on themselves. And that's what I have been doing recently, not worrying about what sister, auntie, mama, cousin, friend, people on social media, people on my job, the opinions of relatives, but focusing on me and how I feel in my own skin. Am I good here? Because I'll tell you guys that if this is messed up, it's going to affect your health. When I feel down and discouraged, I find that I struggle very hard with with exercising. When you're discouraged, it's very hard for you to get to that part of putting on your sneakers and getting to the gym. For me, my biggest motivation is just getting myself to put on the workout clothes, to give myself the permission to put on my sneakers, put on my workout clothes. That's the biggest struggle that I've had to overcome within myself, is just getting myself ready to go. And then once you're dressed, the next part is easy, but that's the first thing, is telling yourself that we are going to exercise. Because first thing that comes in my mind, I can't speak for you guys, but the first thing is, oh, I'm tired, oh, I'm too busy, I'll do it later, I'll do it tomorrow. And then I'll go, wah, you want some wine for you want some cheese for that wine? And I'll play my little violin of pity. I was like, oh, Marlene, you're gonna have a pity party? Okay, let's get over it. So I addressed it, and then I said, well, you can be tired while you're going for your walk, or you can be tired while you go and do all whatever it is that you're going to do. So like I said, start where you are. Whatever your situation is, always following what your doctor or physician has advised, but just some moderate exercise. If all you can do is some chair exercises, arm raise, leg raises, stretching, deep breathing, you start there. And then maybe you'll be able to next start walking in place. I did that many, many years ago. That's how I started. I didn't even have enough courage to go for a walk in the neighborhood because I felt so discouraged by what other people see, and they're going to make fun of me. Was the perception in my mind. But once I got the confidence and I started to lose weight, I started to become encouraged and confident that, yeah, today I'm going to go for that walk around the neighborhood. The more that you do something, it becomes a habit. What did they say? It takes 90 days to develop a habit. So we're going to develop some good habits in the next 90 days. Where do you want to start? What's something that you want to start doing? Let me know in the comments. Realist says, yep. And Sirius says, Nexie, thank you for the super sticker. Your support is greatly appreciated. Yes, it is. Thank you. Miss Nexie says, I've seen patients who are mid-30s, 130 pounds with a sugar level of 500. Wow. So there you go right there. It's just because a person could look slim, but are they healthy? It's two different things, and people will think that sometimes, because that's where I was when I started to get into develop healthy habits. And that is what I wanted to share with you guys today. It's not just about weight loss, it's developing healthy habits. And then when you get into healthy habits, it turns into healthy behaviors, because it's a mindset. Once you get yourself acclimated, you get yourself in that situation to say, you know what? I think I want to do this, and this, and then you do it, then the benefits start coming. Miss Nexie says, you sleep better at night. Yes, that is so true, Miss Nexie. Miss Nexie says, I suffer from insomnia, as do I. I know that there is a lot of us that, getting older, or being stressed out, going through something, or people who suffer from some health problems, or it could be a what is it called? I can't think of the term, but a side effect. The side effect of taking certain medications is insomnia. So everybody has something. And I have to tell you guys that if I'm really stressed out, if my mind is like going a million miles an hour and I'm thinking about projects that I have or something going on in my family or something going on with me, I I'm just tossing and turning. And when I know that I'm just tossing and turning, I just said, you know what? It's this is worthless. Let's just get up, and I have to do an activity that makes me have a major sweat, like jumping jacks, jump rope, get on that manual exercise bike, or get on the treadmill. But I got to do something that I can wear myself out and then I can go to sleep. But if I just try to put myself to sleep, just say I'm tired and feel like I'm going to go to sleep, I'm only fooling myself because I'll be there tossing and turning all night long until I see the sun come up. So that's my suggestion, guys. Everybody is different, but when I feel like really stressed out, my mind is going crazy, I'm tossing and turning, I can't sleep, I just say, okay, I just get up, put on my socks and sneakers, and I do my exercise for about 15-20 minutes, and I'm worn out. Then I'm saying, okay, I'm ready to go to bed, and I'll take a warm shower, and I'm right off to sleep. Rilla says, I am a long time in some. You guys know what that word is. I'm not gonna play with those getting tongue tied. You guys see the word. I'm a long time. Yeah, myself next to yes. Yep, I know all about that. Me too, realist. I suffer from time to time, but I've been trying to move past that. Instead of before, what I would do when I can't sleep at night, instead of waking up and then going and getting a bowl full of cookies, getting some ice cream, get up and eat because I'm awake. I will do healthier habits now. Okay, if I want something to eat, it's going to be some fruit. I'll eat an applesauce. I'll have something that is low in sugar, so it's not going to keep me awake. I'm going to eat something that's low in sugar, that's good for my body, that I can just, that if I go to sleep and have it, it's not going to stay on my stomach and, you know, be not burn fat while I sleep. So it's about making better choices. That's what I've been doing recently. So now let's go to point number two for of the 5 tips for weight loss. Like I said, everybody, this is a lifestyle we're doing, not a diet, because a lifestyle is sustainable. A lifestyle is your everyday, what you're going to do. Every day you're going to be doing these things because it's your life. And this is one of the things that my therapist really helped me to drill into my brain, that you got to care about your life. It's not just like trying to fit things into your life. This is something that is good for you. Just like many of us like to have either sweets or salty things, you have to start having a craving for healthy things. Like, we're going to get into talking about that a little more, but it's shifting certain habits and behaviors so that you can do better. Because I find that when I shifted one habit, other habits start following. Like when I stopped having cookies, ice cream, this and that, and I started shifting and having fruit or some yogurt, applesauce, things like that, instead of pie and cookies and dessert. Of course, it's going to show on your waist, but also it makes you feel better. And that is something that I had to learn. I had to learn to um, learn to eat in a healthy way. Like some people, they live to eat, instead of eating to live. It is definitely two different things, which I'm going to talk about next week, Sunday. Matter of fact, I'm going to write that down. That's going to be next Sunday. We're going to talk about eating to live. Okay. So let's go to point number 2. What really helped me, and that is sustainable, and that is making sure that you are consuming enough water. It, people get into all these debates about you should drink this kind of water. You should have spring versus distilled versus alkaline versus this. All I'm saying, guys, is I heard something a while ago. I don't know if it's factual, but they said that for every 10 pounds you weigh, you should drink. For every 10 pounds you weigh, you should drink 1 ounce of water. So it was like, and I was like, that's a lot of water to drink. But for me personally, I think just 3 to 4 water bottles is how I started. Check with your doctor what works for you, but that is what helped me a lot. Is I needed to learn to consume more water and get away from all the sugary stuff, because like I said, guys, I had developed some very bad habits. I was just popping soda, drinking sodas, and drinking lots of juice. So it was just sugar. And what I learned when I started getting healthier is that you have to eat your calories and not drink them. And that really has shifted. All I did when I stopped soda and juice, and replaced that with water and hot tea, and water, hot tea, and some sparkling drinks. If I had that in space of the soda and the juice and stuff, right away, just like that, within 1 week, I had already dropped 3 or 4 pounds, because it was all the sugar that I was consuming. So I had to get my body, I probably was maintaining better blood sugars, and I didn't even know it. I think I was borderline pre-diabetic, and I think that for me, that was like a wake-up call. Like, I got scared, so I was like, yeah, we're gonna have to chill on the soda, the juice, and all those sugary desserts and stuff, because I didn't want to go to the next step. And that is what happens a lot of times. We ignore those warning signs when our body tells us, like, if you're thirsty all the time, if you're out of breath, and your heart is beating so fast, because your body is trying to keep up with the excess weight. There's no nice or easy way to say it, but it's just that. And it's not just about weight loss, it's about how you feel. And I have to tell you guys, I feel so much better now that I have, I'm eating better, I'm drinking better, I have healthier habits and behaviors. Like, now, instead of, if I'm stressed out about something, before, my go-to is like, I'm going to the store and I'm going to get myself a tub of ice cream. Now, instead of that, I'll take out my journal and I'll write, okay, I'm upset about this, and this, or this person did this and this and this. So, or I take my stress out by going for a walk. Learning healthier habits and behaviors are something that you can sustain. You shouldn't eat your pain. That was another thing that I learned about myself in going through therapy, is that I was a person who ate my pain. And I was like, oh. And when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I do. Every time I'm upset, it was like, I need cookies, I need chips, I need this, I need that. And really, it was like, you need to sit down and mind your business, and you need to find out why you're upset. Instead of eating, you need to chill and take out a pen and paper and write down your feelings and communicate them and say, this is how I feel, instead of doing this. Okay? So point number 2 was making sure you're drinking water. That's very important for weight loss. Our body is made up of minerals. It's made up of so many things, and it needs water to survive. So however much water that has been advised for you to drink, just drink water. And I've heard that people say, oh, they can only drink cold water. Some people say they can only have room temperature. What matters and counts the most is that you are consuming water. As much water as is possible for you to drink, drink up, guys. Okay. Now we're on point 3. Get an accountability partner. I can't tell you this, that changed. Like I had started, like I said, I started and I had lost 2 to 3 pounds, and then I slipped into bad habits. Like I said, I was always eating my pain. I lost 2 to 3 pounds, then I gained 5, and then I would lose 1, and I would gain back 3. It's because I was not being having a regular schedule. I was just doing things sporadically. Like when I felt like it, I would go for a walk, or when I felt like it, oh yeah, when I would remember, or when I felt like it, okay, I'll eat healthy today. And then I would go back to my bad habits of eating lots of bread and rice. And I was still drinking soda and tons of juice and eating lots of desserts and chips and cookies and everything else. And then I was up there, oh, I wonder why I can't lose weight. So yeah, while it's good, everybody, to get out there and exercise, but you got to shift what you're feeding your body. You got to give your body nutrition that it needs so that it can be sustainable. Okay. So get an accountability partner. That's point number 3. And I can say that not all the time you're going to have somebody who's going to want to go and exercise with you. But for me, I joined a support group that was online. They have many on different social media sites that you can join. And they talk about certain things like, today I'm going to do this. And that helped me because being in the group, I knew I was going to go to my support group that night. So it encouraged me when everybody would be like, yeah, I went to the gym today. Yeah, I went for an exercise. And I'm just over there like, well, I didn't do nothing. I'd be watching TV, eating some chips, watching and listening to everybody else, having a guilty conscience. So I had to learn how to be accountable for me. And here comes that word again, discipline. It's not a word that we like. It's not what we want to do, but in the long term, it's going to make us feel better. You know, it will make us feel better. Get an accountability partner. There is nothing like having support. I know when my accountability partner says, hey, you going for a walk today? And you're like, I wasn't planning on it. I was like, you're going? I was like, I was just about to go. And even if you talk to each other while you're going for a walk, or you talk to each other on your way to the gym, that for me, that's encouraging. You got somebody who will support you. For me, I did not have people in my life that were like encouraging of that, because they were just going to eat and drink and do whatever they wanted. But I had to learn to start living for me. You know, I'm not responsible for what another person does. They can do them, but I got to do me, because I want to be around and I want to be healthy. I don't want to be on lots of medicines. I want to be able to breathe without a breathing machine. I want to be able to walk without panting like a dog. I wanted to be better than that. So that meant that I was going to have to be accountable for me and change my behaviors. Okay. So get an accountability partner, join a support group. I'm telling you, it will really change you. And that's something that you can sustain when you have somebody who's going to back you and say, oh, you're going to the gym today? Have somebody that you meet up with. Maybe you're going to go walking together, or maybe it's just a person that's online that encourages you. Okay, you going to the gym? Come on, what are you doing? When are you going? That will keep you on track. For me, I was a person that I know I couldn't sustain that on my own. I needed somebody to be like, I'm going to the gym. You going to the gym today? Are you going for a walk today? What are you doing today? Are you doing, cardio today? You doing stretching today? Well, what are we doing? And knowing that there's a we that keeps me on track, it kind of gives me tunnel vision that I have to learn how to refocus and reshift. And it's not letting exercise fall in whenever you feel like, okay, I'll make time for it once a week or something. No, it's making it a part of your regular routine. Okay. And this one is was number 4. This right here was the hardest part for me in weight loss, and that was portion control. I don't know about you guys, but your girl can eat. Okay, I can eat. People may not believe that, but I can eat. I can eat a very healthy portion of food. And that was the hardest thing for me in weight loss is I could I could eat consume a lot, and I felt like because I was not keeping myself on a schedule of eating, I was notorious for it being 3 4 p.m. and I didn't eat anything all day. So, and that way, guess what you do? You overeat. Okay. So we're here on the last point number 5. This may be hard for some, but that is don't eat after 7 p.m. That's very hard depending on your work schedule, but try your best to not eat after 7 p.m. Because it will give your body time to digest the food, time to, it's good for your gut health, it's good for your physical body. It also helps you to sleep. You should stop eating 2 hours before you go to sleep. That was recommended to me by my doctor. So I tried to give you guys the same information because I'm not a doctor. So those are the tips, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I hope that this will motivate and encourage and inspire somebody. Shout out to my mods. Shout out to my channel members. Thank you all so much for your support. And next week, Sunday, the same time, we're going to do Eat to Live. So I'll see you guys next Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great one, guys. I'm Marlene Motivates, your life coach. Bye-bye.